Another video about depression, and back I was like thinking about that Wits Blitz video that I made, and one of the tools that I learned like while dealing with depression was to it's gonna sound weird at first, but to keep a micro journal. Basically, like every 15 minutes, sometimes a half an hour, depending on how well I remembered. But like 4 times an hour, you just write down, doing this, feel this way. Wrote just a couple lines. And I discovered all sorts of different things I didn't know about. I guess that's why they keep ship's logs, you know? It's like, what sails were set, how fast were you going, what were people doing? Because looking back on that, you could get a better idea of the overall impact of things. And here's what I discovered is that, like for instance, first thing in the morning, right before I became like really fully conscious, I actually felt pretty good. Probably the best. That like I didn't feel normal by any means, but I didn't feel like I was living in a black fog, devoid of emotions, one of Dante's hells. But there was other moments too that were kind of like that. Getting something to get something I was dreading doing, something simple. I was dreading doing simple things. I would get one out of the way, and it wasn't satisfaction necessarily, but it was kind of almost like wiping your brow, and like I don't have to do that again for a while. Like relief. It was relief. That's what I felt. Like I felt that relief first thing in the morning, relief from depression, and I felt like a little bit of relief after accomplishing a goal. And the same thing with like massive amounts of exercise. I mean, way more than you'd think is normal, to achieve even a small sense of feeling of well-being, feeling of relief. So I would write down, take a bike ride. The bike ride's gonna be 4 hours long, and be like 3.5 hours of just the worst bike riding experience you could imagine. And then I remember like towards the end, coming up a really steep hill and coming to the top, and I was like 4 hours of cycling, major hill at the end of it, coming up to a peak, and I was just like breathing like crazy, and I think probably getting oxygen high, but endorphin high. Like it took all that to kind of like have my body's chemistry fight back to the chemical imbalance that was causing my depression. Well, chemical imbalance wasn't causing my depression. I was depressed for so long that I was starting to develop a chemical imbalance, and that's how I fought my way out, is using that journal. Each and every time I had that respite of that brief let up of the darkness, I started chiseling in those areas. So I was like exercising like a madman. I was like, if I had chores to do, I was like right on it to get that sense of relief that it developed, and I just started working from there. Mostly to find new things to do to provide that same sense of relief until things started to let up. You know, it's like suddenly, like, you know, that feeling of relief in the morning might last several hours, and soon it was lasting most of the day, and soon actually depression was just kind of showing up like once a day or a couple times a week and once a month, and then the next thing I know, I was free of it, free of that particular bout, and also loaded with tools to deal with it in case depression ever popped up again. I gotta go find my dog.